Have you ever wished to become someone unshakable? Someone who no longer bends under criticism, rejection, loss, or betrayal? Have you ever imagined the day when you finally stop feeling that silent pain, that invisible weight, that constant need to be understood, chosen, or accepted? Because if you're honest, that pain is not loud. It doesn't scream. It doesn't break things. It simply stays quietly inside you. And over time, it shapes the way you love, the way you speak, the way you chase, the way you fear being left behind. Most people think strength means becoming cold. They think being unshakable means feeling nothing. But that's not strength. That's emotional numbness. And numbness is not peace. Real strength is something much deeper than that. It is the ability to remain calm when life gives you every reason not to be. It is the ability to stay centered when people misunderstand you, leave you, replace you, or fail to see your value. And that kind of strength does not come from ego. It comes from detachment. Because the truth is, most people are not broken by what happens to them. They are broken by how much of themselves they attach to things outside of them. Outside validation, outside attention, outside love, outside approval. And once your peace depends on something outside of you, you are no longer in control. That is where suffering begins. Not in rejection itself, but in the meaning you give to it. Not in betrayal itself, but in the part of you that made someone else your emotional home. That is why some people collapse after being ignored, while others simply walk away in silence. Because pain is not always about the event. Sometimes it is about dependency. And dependency is one of the most dangerous emotional habits a person can develop. Because the more you need, the easier it is to control you. The more desperate you become for love, for reassurance, for attention, the more power you hand away. And the sad part is, most people do not even realize they are doing it. They think they are just caring. They think they are just trying. They think they are just being real. But often, they are abandoning themselves just to keep someone else. And that is not love. That is fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of not being enough. Fear of being forgotten. But here is what no one tells you. The moment you stop needing to be chosen, you become dangerous. The moment you stop begging for understanding, you begin to understand yourself. And the moment you stop chasing what keeps running from you, you finally remember your worth. There is something powerful about a person who can feel deeply, but still remain in control. A person who can care without collapsing. A person who can lose someone and still remain whole. That is what it means to be emotionally unshakable. Not emotionless, not heartless, not cold. Just grounded, disciplined, aware, at peace with what stays and what leaves. Because life will always test you. People will disappoint you. Some will use your softness against you. Some will only value you once they feel your absence. And some will never understand you at all. But none of that should have the power to destroy you. Not anymore. You have to reach a point in your life where rejection no longer makes you question your value, where silence no longer makes you panic, where distance no longer makes you chase, where being misunderstood no longer makes you explain yourself to exhaustion. That is freedom. That is power. And that is peace. But peace is not something you find in other people. It is something you build within yourself, in silence, in discipline, in the moments where no one is clapping for you, and no one is choosing you. And yet, you still choose yourself. That is where your strength is born. Not when life is easy, but when life becomes heavy, and you still carry yourself with dignity. So if you truly want to become unshakable, stop trying to control what people do. Stop trying to hold on to those who keep letting go. Stop trying to force loyalty, force love, force understanding. Let people reveal themselves. Let distance teach you. Let silence expose what words never could. And above all, learn to become your own center. Because once you no longer depend on outside things to feel whole, you become untouchable in a way that cannot be faked. And maybe that is the real goal. Not to be loved by everyone, not to be chosen by everyone, but to become someone who can lose almost anything and still remain at peace. That is what makes a person unshakable.